I first, I determined in my mind that I'm going to trade something in Guyana, buy something in Guyana, and sell back to the world because I enjoy trading, shipping, import, and export.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Diaspora Highlights. As always, it comes to you with the best wishes of the Diaspora Unit, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Thank you for joining us. I am Marcy Parker, coming to you this week from Land of Canaan on the east bank of Demerara as we put the spotlight on DuraVilla homes and durable wood products. This is the brainchild of the CEO and President, Mr. Rafeek Khan. Let's take you on a tour that shows you from the manufacturing to the finished products. Let's go. DuraVilla Homes is established in Guyana and the United States, offering a choice of two of the best eco-friendly building systems. Their green art homes are manufactured in Guyana along with other beautiful and sustainable tropical hardwoods. These products are known for its strength and durability, from the primary production and exportation to an entire house. But how this phenomenal idea all started.
So the company has started initially just buying and selling lumber. I grew up here in Guyana. I migrated when I was at the age of 13 and reinvested into Guyana 22 years ago. I first, I determined in my mind that I'm going to trade something in Guyana, buy something in Guyana, and sell back to the world because I enjoy trading, shipping, import and export. So the company started off buying lumber products from various suppliers in Guyana, and from my home base in Florida is where we started developing products internationally, creating markets, government projects, municipalities. The city of New York was one of our first projects. The city of Miami ordered Guyana's timber products. Then we took it to different parts of the world, the Middle East, Europe, and so again, just buying and selling. I did that for a good 5 years, trading timber. Our company also traded timber from Brazil, Suriname. But because Guyana is my home and I am more comfortable here, we decided that we're going to make Guyana our headquarter of manufacturing products. It's been a very, very long journey. 2 decades in the making. Started off, like I said, just buying and selling lumber. Okay, the facility we were at here at Land of Canaan was just a repackaging facility where we will buy, consolidate, repackage, make it look presentable, meet all the international compliance for export, and we ship the timber to the various destinations.
DuraVilla Guyana Incorporated is a part of a fully integrated group of timber companies from Guyana, which include logging, sawmilling, and manufacturing. Under one roof, DuraVilla offers the finest tropical hardwood products produced in factories right here in Guyana. CEO Khan explains what takes place from the manufacturing to the finished products?
About 20 years ago, the idea came about that we will start manufacturing something in Guyana. What could we manufacture? And that product was Wallaby shingles, the first product that we started manufacturing. In the previous histories, for those who may have heard, there was, going back about 100 years now, maybe, a Nagasar Saw who used to make Wallaby shingles in Guyana. Because second or third generation never continued, what happened that excellent product died. And our company seized the opportunity and started producing Wallaby shingles as our first manufactured product here in Guyana. And to date, I'm pleased to say that it makes up to approximately 12% of the value added export from Guyana in taking the raw material and making a finished product that goes on the roof. Many people are familiar with cedar shingles, but Wallaby shingles is a unique product to Guyana. The wood is also sourced in Suriname and Brazil, but Guyana is the only country that has perfected the manufacturing of Wallaby shingles, and this product goes to resorts across the world. To date, we have at least 3 companies now producing Wallaby shingles, are all started from this vision. So fast forwarding a bit, that being our first product, we opened another location in Yarracabra where we started converting logs into dimensional lumber. Taking timber and shipping and producing it in a fashion for external application, structural applications, hydraulic and engineering. We do not have the capacity in the country to date to do full value added as a commodity product to trade internationally. So most of the companies, and our company, in the last, I would say, 15 years, we have been focusing on just doing external timbers. Because internal use of timber, whether you're doing flooring, wall paneling, furniture, whatever it might be, it requires a lot more care to details. It requires more technology. It requires more skills. It requires more attention to detail. And it requires competitiveness, okay? So we focus strategically on producing something that the world buys. And Guyana has been known for perhaps 100 years now that the British has pioneered Greenheart. And it went first into the Liverpools doing sea defense in England. Then it went to not Holland, the Netherlands. So the product in itself is being produced to be able to target structural engineering hydraulic applications worldwide. I'm pleased to say that the world has known about our products, not just our company products, our country's product, because of its strength and durability, and it has proven itself by architects and engineers around the world. Greenheart, for example, is the only timber product, or one of 3 timber products, that is resistant to marine borers and decay. Greenheart, perhaps, I believe, has the highest elasticity rating, that it will bend and not break. Greenheart you can get in very long lengths. I'm talking squares of up to 60 feet in length that goes into sea defense. So because of the uniqueness of Greenheart, the company, our company and our country has been focused a lot on structural applications. Some of the manufacturing is done in Guyana, but the bulk of the final end-use application of these timber products, structural hydraulic engineered timber products, is being fashioned and produced in Holland and in the UK primarily, then into the Middle East and various other countries. Every time you see a big bridge or a sea defense project or a railroad track, Guyana's timber product has been used structural. Then our company in the last 10 years decided that we're going to think more internal not just external applications. And the internal applications is more value added, value addition, which talks about flooring, which talks about wall paneling, which talks about the entire envelope of a house using timber. So the journey began from primary production and exportation and sales and marketing of structural timbers. And today, 20 years in the making, we're now producing an entire house.
From the floor to the roof, DuraVilla and its affiliates offer a complete package of timber-related products, which include structural timbers, siding, paneling, ceiling, flooring, and doors. They even manufacture their own brand of Wallaba shingles for a beautiful and durable roof. According to Khan, this is all taking into consideration a number of factors when manufacturing.
But the first thing to do manufacturing, you have to think, what is your end product and what it should look like. Okay? What is it that the consumer wants? What is the expectation of the consumer? Not just locally in Guyana, but internationally. We want to make sure that our products meet the standards internationally because Guyana is a small country. And as you know, most of our utilization of timber has been for wharfs, piers, piling, outdoor application. So you have to first think about what product you're going to make. And then ask yourself the question, could you make it? Then ask yourself the question, probably the most important question, could you be competitive in making it? We have struggled in the last, our country has been going through this economic growth. And the biggest challenges has been affordable energy, better infrastructure, and better skills. These three areas is necessary to be competitive. I'm very pleased that in the next year or two, we're going to see logistics costs coming down because money is being spent in infrastructure works. So the cost of moving your raw material from the forest to the factory, the raw material alone sometimes is as much as 60% of the cost of that load of logs that you're bringing. So if you're bringing, let's say, 20 cubic meters of logs from the forest to produce a product, can you imagine when you're buying that from that supplier, 60% goes to his trucking cost. Okay? So I'm hoping that 60% will come down to about 30%, and that's what will make us more competitive. So that's the logistics hindrance. The energy hindrance. Energy cost has been a burden for us to think, if you're going to make a product, could you be competitive? Because your cost of energy in producing a product can range from 5% to 10%, depending on how large or what size motors you're using, what you're doing to produce that product. But in the timber industry, we self-generate. Most of the countries self-generate power, especially if your factories are in the hinterlands or far-reached area. We're hoping that will now help us to be able to become more competitive.
With operations in the United States and Guyana, this company offers customers exceptional service. The DuraVilla team has more than 40 years of experience in manufacturing, home building, and global distribution. Khan underscored that over the years, they have invested heavily in technology and infrastructure to make products affordable.
So the logistics has to be looked at during our decision making of making a product. The availability of raw material has to be looked at when considering making a product. Many companies sometimes think about making a product and then they don't think, could you get the raw material in a very, indefinite time period? Let's say if your product life is going to last you 20 years in selling or producing, or 30 or 40 or 50 years, you're not going to pick a timber species that is limited. Okay? So it's important in the product selection, but also the species selection, because not every wood is good for every product. This wood you're seeing here is called Washiba, one of the most expensive wood in Guyana, one of the most sought after wood in the world, also known as ipe. It is the most expensive wood that we export in Guyana. But would I go take this wood and make a commodity product like decking, like flooring, furniture? No, because then eventually I'm out of raw material. So we are blessed as a country with abundant forest. We're only utilizing 1% of our forests, and of that allocated 1% of our forest for logging, and of that 1%, we're only utilizing a third of the 1% now. So in the forest mix, you have at least 21 species that are common, that are marketable. We have about a dozen other species for other types of application. So to answer your question, to decide on making a product and what those products should be, we must ask ourselves the question, do you have the available raw material? Do you have competitive infrastructure? Do you have competitive skills? That's very important. And do you have the technology to make the product? So many times we want to produce something, or we think it sounds great. I'm going to go and produce a lot of, let's say, broomsticks, mop sticks. We don't produce that in Guyana. But could we produce it to be competitive with the importation into the country from India or China, or wherever, Malaysia that's coming in? So we need to ask myself the question, when making these products that you're going to see today, make sure that we can be competitive. Okay? And not all the time we're going to be competitive. And if you're not, do something, and we did something that is unique, that is different, that's a niche, that is no one else is doing. And then you target your market accordingly. Some of those products that we're doing in commodity now, I would say at least a container load every week, or 10,000 square feet or board feet per week. Each of these products could be paneling, external paneling, siding, decking, flooring, molding. We don't make doors as yet, but these are commodity products that are traded internationally. But when made in Guyana, with the durability, what you're finding in these value-added products has to be presented now to the consumer, that they will now make the decision, do they buy it or not. Then we came about with the other unique product, is the modular home. So these are just a little glimpse of the various products and the journey in manufacturing those products. Now, we invested heavily in the last 15 years or so. We invested a lot into technology to bring down the cost and give you the best quality. We invested in kiln drying, seasoning of the timber, because you cannot make value added if you don't dry your wood properly. We invested in infrastructure to build out and expand, which we're doing and happening rapidly. Every month we're adding something to our factory.